I have a good question for you today. How do you feel when you're doing something you love compared to when you're doing something that you don't necessarily like to do? Do you feel a difference? The topic for today's video came about when today is August 3rd. It's a day off and I was working on my class notes for my class. And I was wondering, why is it wrong to take a day off to work on my class notes? And I thought that, well, that's something I love to do. The topic was about climate change, which is a topic I enjoy just researching about. And I thought it would be nice to get ahead for a few hours today. You may also have a friend that tend to work a lot, and some people call them workaholics. But at the end of the day, these people tend to be happy in doing what they're doing. How would you feel if everything you do was interesting for you to do and you did not feel like doing work? Think about that. That's a state of mind that would be amazing to have. That's all in the mindset, and let's talk about it in this video. Welcome to this channel. My name is Alain Faber, and this channel was created for me to share with you that learning is the ultimate tool for you to be happy and to make the world a better place. Stay with me. I'll share with you some stories and 3 tips on how you can do things in your life and feel happy about it. It's interesting that when we buy a house, for example, a new house, or we have a new apartment, and we get all excited, and somehow within a week, a month, or a year, it doesn't feel like a fun thing anymore. It feels like chores. The house is bigger, we have to travel longer, and it's interesting. So how come our mind changes sometimes? Same thing with relationship. You meet someone for the first time, for the first week, for the first month. It is what we call the honeymoon phase, and then at some point it gets a bit harder to do. Not necessarily harder. It needs a bit more work. Same thing with a job. You start a new job, and then for the first few months it feels great, but after a year, then you feel it's dragging, and then you feel you need a new job. Now I have a secret to tell you. The reason why it feels like a chore, or you don't feel like it needs work to be able to be happier, is that you stopped learning from it. So if, for example, if you think of relationship, if you are keeping in mind that there's always something new to learn from your partner or from your kids, imagine how curiosity, how excited you'll be to spend time with them. Same thing with a job. If you have a job and you realize that maybe there's more that you haven't learned yet, you notice that you'd have more energy to do so. In the trades, that's what we call mastery, or you become a master mechanic, or you become a master plumber. What happens is you spend times learning, and then the more you learn, the more you can play with what you have to do. And same thing with musicians. Some people play music. Other people can create music because they become the music. They realize that there's so much more to learn and there's so much more to contribute. And that is something amazing. So today's message is about the fact that if you keep in mind that learning is at the forefront of your activities, you notice that you'll be happy. You'll be happier, and you'll be the happiest you can be. Because by knowing that there's more to learn, the more you'll have a growth mindset, and the less you'll be in a fixed mindset. Now, a growth mindset means that you're in a situation and you think that there's more you can do, there's more you can learn, so that you could become a better person. Not just for yourself, but for the world and your community around you. And that's why I think learning is so amazing. So I have 3 tips for you on how to be happier with what you do. The first one is to start to be positive. Our brain is interesting because once we are positive, we laugh a bit more, we enjoy ourselves a bit more, we take care of the relationships around us. And when we start to be negative, what happens is one negative thought brings another one. And then when you have a community of people that are negative, then it's very hard to get the energy up to feel fulfilled in what you do. So if you need to, that means that to choose positivity and to choose to be positive, it means that you may have to put some news aside and do some learning while reading. You may have to leave some social media platforms so that you can focus on positive ideas so that you can become more positive in your environment. My second tip is for you to know that there's much more to learn. There's much more to learn in your trade. There's much more to learn in your field of work. There's more to learn in your relationships. And you realize that once you realize that there's more to know, you'll be happy to do the little steps to be nicer. You'll be a little step to ask questions and to make other people feel nurtured. And when you do that, you'll realize that you contribute to each other's positive life. And my third tip is a bit trickier, where you have to decide if you need to do what you're doing, if you want to do what you're doing, and if it's time to let it go. Many of us have great ideas, great plans, great projects, and it's going very well. Sometimes we hang on to situations that may be negative. We hang on things that doesn't make us happy, and you realize you have to keep in mind that it may be a good time to let it go, to accept that you've learned what you had to learn, you have completed what you had to complete in a relationship or in a job. So that's something that you may have to do, but it is very important to consider as well. So I have a call to action for you today, and my call to action is for you to look at something in your day where you'll be more positive about. It could be a relationship, it could be a family member, it could be your job, it could be even your community. The idea is for you to look at one of your thoughts that may be negative and change it to a more positive thought, so that you can contribute into your community, in the relationship, so that because you want to be there for the others. You want to serve the higher purpose of a relationship. You want to serve a higher purpose of a business. And I can assure you that you'll notice that you'll be happier in what you're doing. That's what I did today. I worked on my school work. Well, it's the middle of the summer, but still, it was exciting for me because it's not just about school. It's about learning about climate for the topic today. It's for me to know that by doing what I'm doing today, I'll be there for my students in September. On this, I'm going to put here the link to my best life journey, where you'll see several videos, because today is day 75. That means I've created 75 videos in the last 75 days so that I can work on my growth mindset and hoping to guide you to have a growth mindset as well. On this, I'll see you in the next video.